The appeal of survival games should not come as a surprise. After all, fighting to stay alive is hard-coded into our DNA, so it's easy to see why we've become engrossed in experiencing it in games. I'm Josh. Welcome to HotFix Gaming. So without further ado, here are 10 survival games every player should try. 10. Green Hell. This is a first-person survival that is also available for the PSVR 2, in case you want it to feel even more realistic. Set in the unique and uncharted setting of the Amazonian forest, this game is probably the most realistic of all the titles I'm going to talk about today. You have to use real-life survival techniques to craft, hunt, fight, and gather resources necessary to survive. You can build yourself a shelter, or why not create a massive fortress? The choice is yours. However, an interesting mechanic that the game also has is the need to tend to your wounds, but also maintain your mental health. Surviving in the middle of the Amazonian rainforest all by yourself can be quite a harrowing experience, so you gotta make sure you meditate or something. I don't know. And if you want to feel less lonely, you can always have your friends join you in an online co-op mode that allows up to 4 players. 9. Vintage Story. What initially started as a Minecraft mod called Vintagecraft eventually became the standalone called Vintage Story, and while the game might have some similarities to Minecraft, the differences are what makes it worth mentioning in this video. Vintage Story is an uncompromising wilderness survival sandbox game, inspired by eldritch horror themes. Find yourself in a ruined world, reclaimed by nature and permeated by unnerving temporal disturbances. Relive the advent of human civilization, or take your own path. You start off initially in what seems to be this game's version of the Stone Age. You're empty-handed, and you need to forage, hunt, and craft all the bits and pieces needed for survival. On top of that, this world that you're now inhabiting is populated by a range of cute, strange, dangerous, and horrifying creatures. Number 8. Rust. This grim tale of endurance has become infamous for its naked men. But it's not the size of a man's particulars that's impressive about Face Punch's open-world game, and we all know that size doesn't matter anyway, right? No, it's the forts that players can erect. Rust's strong point is construction. As you gather materials from its wilderness, you can begin to lay down various items in a Sims-like manner, creating your perfect rural retreat by slotting together floors, walls, staircases, and windows. While many Rust servers exist where the traditional shoot-on-sight mentality exists, Rust has plenty of havens for those looking for a more civilized lifestyle. You can find player-created towns, complete with attempts at government, trading, and even prisons. It's one of the nicest reminders that fantastic achievements can be made if people pull together and share their resources. Rust underwent a massive overhaul that saw most of the original game scrapped in favor of a slightly new approach and completely new base code. The change ripped out many of the game's core features, such as zombies and rad towns, but over time they've gradually reapplied alongside new ideas. 7. Raft. While other survival games pit you against a bleak, often zombie-ridden hellscape, Raft casts you out at sea. Trapped all alone, or with a bunch of friends if you play in co-op, on your titular pile of wooden planks with no land as far as the eye can see, Raft is a bit like the video game equivalent of Waterworld. Except instead of trying to stay alive against other people, it's the sharks you've got to worry about in this game, as they'll chomp their way through practically anything they can fit into their toothy maws, including that rickety raft of yours. Fortunately, Raft isn't just about defending your newfound home from the terrors of the deep. While hunger and thirst levels must be perpetually topped up, Raft also lets you indulge your slightly sillier side, giving you the scope to craft multi-story palaces if you so wish, replete with shark head trophies and any other bits and bobs you find floating in the ocean. And goodness, is there a lot of flotsam swimming around in Raft. Whatever happened to the wider world out there, you'll find a lot of it ended up in the sea. 6. Grounded. Grounded takes the 1980s theme Honey, I Shrunk the Kids scenario and pops you in a fairly normal back garden, except that you're a tiny mite. It's transformed normal into more of a bug-infested hellscape. With friends in tow, your aim is to raid these miniature science labs to gather intel on just what the heck is going on, as well as turn the mandibles and shells of your fallen foes into nice pairs of pants and armor. A bit like Monster Hunter, in a way. It's a beautiful and somewhat wondrous environment from the perspective of someone the size of a bug. The game's bizarre, science-heavy narrative can be experienced in single-player and multiplayer alike. Solo fans can travel at their own pace, solving the mysteries of their strange predicament and amassing an arsenal of bug-killing weapons as they go. Multiplayer groups can build up shared bases and lairs, swapping tools and sharing resources so that they can survive the perils of the yard together. If you're enjoying this video so far, let me know by hitting that like button. 5. Pacific Drive. There might not be a more differentiated survival game on this list than Pacific Drive. It's a first-person driving simulator that takes place across different locations in the Pacific Northwest region of the United States. All you have is your car and your sense of direction in Pacific Drive, and if you lose either one, you're done for. Drive through a world filled with horrible anomalies, gather resources and use them to soup up your car with sci-fi gadgets, and drive even further the next time. It's different than just about any other survival game out there, though it's pretty darn punishing too. 4. No Man's Sky. It's easy to oversell the idea that No Man's Sky was a flop on release and has only clawed its way back to respectability in the years of updates since. Closer to the truth would be to say that it did a great job of providing a certain kind of experience at launch and sold loads in the process, and now it provides a more varied set of experiences. From the beginning to now, one of those experiences has been survival. If you want to play No Man's Sky on a set of hostile worlds, scrambling to get enough resources to build shelter or to fuel the next desperate jump across the galaxy, you can do that. It will now reward you with prettier and more varied planets, giant sandworms, mechs to pilot, and much more. And while you may think there are better survival games on this list, few of them can match No Man's Sky for scale and polish. 3. Palworld. You'd be forgiven for thinking this is only a game like Pokemon, but with guns. However, Palworld has far more in common with many survival games on this list than the Nintendo exclusive. Your goal is to get the best team of Palworld pals possible while also building an arsenal of the best Palworld guns to defeat the adversaries in the towers. Regardless of how some of you may feel about the pals that resemble a bit too much the already established Pokemons, you cannot deny that Palworld has really opened up the door for what monster taming games like Pokemon could do. It's hard to go back to any of the Nintendo titles now, as they all seem too linear and simplistic compared to what you can do in Palworld. Number 2. Valheim. Abandoned in the Norse wilderness with nothing but a loincloth and your wits, you and up to 9 other Vikings must build shelter, forage for food, and steadily build up your strength before heading out in search of glorious battle. The meadows you begin your journey in are relatively safe, but the procedurally generated wilds contain various biomes of escalating difficulty. You do not want to stumble into the plains before you're ready, trust me. Each one of Valheim's biomes has its own magnificent boss. Once you locate it, summon it, and defeat it, you'll unlock resources and powers that help you progress to the next region. You'll also trigger increasingly powerful raids on your home base, so you must construct a well-defended homestead. Don't forget the chimney, or smoke inhalation will get you before that giant blue troll does. If you can't play over LAN, you don't need an internet connection to enjoy Valheim, as it works perfectly as an offline game. Number 1. Subnautica. With its dreamy underwater setting and compelling gameplay loop, Subnautica is one of the best exploration survival games and even comes with its own Subnautica Freedom mode for a much more hopeful and relaxing experience than other survival adventures. Sure, you're a lonely man lost at sea on an alien planet, but it's a game all about transforming your new environment and making unfamiliar ground your home. The art direction helps push the idea of hope home, with bright and shiny technologies, beautifully blue oceans, and schools of tropical fish filling your vision at every turn. You explore the ocean depths in your submarine, searching for new materials in marine trenches and coral reefs, and when you've found everything you need, you can construct bases on the ocean floor. The game's survival elements include the food and water requirements that most games in the genre do, but there's a more pressing issue in Subnautica: oxygen. You can't breathe seawater, so your oxygen levels and consumption must always be on your mind. Every survival game has the ominous shadow following you around, but it's simply good old O2 here. What other survival games have you played and loved? Let me know your favourites in the comments section below, and if you enjoy gaming content and want more, be sure to check out the videos linked on screen.